You probably think that you are the one quietly watching the pigeons on your street. You glance at them, then move on, and forget them a moment later. But what if the watching has been working in both directions all along? Welcome to the Pigeon Mind. Subscribe for calm, evidence-led pigeon documentaries. Stay until the end because that ordinary pigeon on your corner may have been studying your habits for weeks. You probably think that you are the one quietly watching the pigeons on your street. You glance at them in passing and then forget about them the very next moment. But what if the watching has quietly been working in both directions all along? What if the pigeon on your corner has been carefully observing you for weeks, studying your habits, your timing, your movements, and your behavior day after day? It sounds almost unsettling, the idea of being studied by a common street bird. But to a pigeon, learning the people around it is simply a matter of survival. Its eyes are sharper than yours, and it misses far less than you might think. While you hurry past, lost in thought, the pigeon is quietly gathering information. It is building a quiet picture of who you are and how you behave. So what exactly is that little bird learning about you and your daily life? The honest answer reveals just how genuinely observant these overlooked little city birds truly are. To understand what it sees, you first have to understand the pigeon's remarkable eyes. A pigeon's vision is in many ways far sharper and faster than our own. Its eyes sit on the sides, giving it a near complete view all around. It can see nearly behind itself without ever needing to turn its head. So you can rarely sneak up on a pigeon from any angle at all. Pigeons also see color far more richly and vividly than we humans ever possibly could. They can perceive ultraviolet light, an entire hidden dimension of the world, completely invisible to our eyes. Their eyes also work much faster, catching quick darting motion that our slower eyes would simply blur. A sudden small gesture you barely notice yourself, the pigeon sees perfectly clearly and quietly remembers. This sharp and rapid vision is absolutely perfect for spotting threats, finding food, and reading patterns. It notices who moves quickly, who moves slowly, and who suddenly changes direction. It reads body language, the way a person leans, reaches, or shifts their weight. These small signals tell the bird whether to relax or to quickly flee. So before you even act, the pigeon is already reading your earliest movements. With those sharp eyes, the pigeon begins to learn the rhythm of your days. Pigeons have a strong sense of time, finely tuned to daily and repeating events. If you pass the same corner each morning, the bird quietly takes note. It slowly learns when you leave, when you return, and when you tend to stop and linger. Over many weeks, it slowly builds a quiet inner schedule of your most predictable daily movements. It comes to know roughly when you are likely to appear and whether food often arrives with you. If you sometimes drop crumbs, the bird links your arrival to the chance of food. So it may begin waiting near your path just before your usual time. You might notice it there, perched and watching, as if it expected you. That is not mere coincidence. It is a learned, deliberate, and carefully timed expectation of your arrival. The bird has, in effect, memorized a small piece of your daily timetable. This timing helps it save energy and be present exactly when it matters. A bird that knows your schedule never wastes effort waiting at the wrong hour. So your routine has quietly become part of the pigeon's own daily plan. The pigeon is also quietly learning something even more important about you as a person. It is quietly deciding whether you are safe or whether you are a threat. Every encounter you have becomes a small lesson in the bird's running assessment. If you walk calmly past, again and again, it learns that you mean no harm. If you ever once lunged at it or chased it, that single memory can last a remarkably long time. Pigeons clearly remember bad experiences with particular people far longer than most of us would ever expect. So the bird quietly sorts the people it sees into the clearly harmless and the genuinely risky. It adjusts how close it lets you come based on everything it has learned. Trusted regular may approach within a step of the relaxed and confident bird. A single nervous stranger may send that very same relaxed bird shuffling cautiously and quickly backward. This is simple learned association built up patiently from many repeated and careful observations of you. The bird is not judging your character, it is simply predicting your behavior. It reads what you tend to do, not who you secretly are inside. But to the pigeon, that practical prediction is genuinely worth the careful effort. Over many weeks, all these small lessons combine into a kind of profile. Not a profile in words, of course, but a web of learned expectations. The bird connects your appearance, your timing, your pace, and your past behavior. Together these threads form a quiet expectation of what you will likely do. When you appear, the bird does not start fresh. It draws on weeks of watching. It already has a guess about whether to approach, to wait, or to flee. This is why a familiar bird may react to you so quickly and confidently. It is not seeing a stranger, but a face it has studied for weeks. The same sharp eyes that spot a hawk also map the humans around it. You are simply one more important feature of the bird's carefully learned world. And the more predictable you are, the more confidently the bird can read you. A regular, reliable human becomes an easy and comfortable part of its routine. So your repeated presence quietly trains the bird as much as it observes you. The watching, it turns out, has been mutual all along the entire time. A natural question follows. Just how long can a pigeon actually remember you? The honest answer is that we still do not fully know the precise limits. But the evidence suggests that pigeon memory lasts far longer than people assume. A bird may recall a person or a place across many weeks or months. Some learned associations seem to fade slowly, lingering well beyond a single season. This long memory is exactly why a familiar bird greets you so confidently. It is not relearning you each day, it is drawing on weeks of stored memory. A single frightening encounter can leave a wary mark that lasts surprisingly long, and a long history of calm can build a trust that is equally durable. So your reputation with a pigeon is built slowly and forgotten even more slowly. This is exactly why consistency matters so much more than any single passing encounter ever could. The bird is keeping a long, quiet record of how you have always behaved. But here, we should pause and stay honest about what this really means. The very word studying makes all of this sound far more deliberate and conscious than it truly is. The pigeon is not analyzing you the way a curious person ever would. It is certainly not wondering about your life, your private thoughts, or any of your inner feelings. It is simply learning useful patterns the same way that evolution shaped it to survive and thrive. This is not affection, it is not friendship, and it is not loyalty. It is the quiet, practical, everyday intelligence of an animal carefully reading its own environment. We really should not turn this into anything more than the careful evidence actually allows us to. Pigeons learn individual humans and adjust their behavior, and that alone is remarkable. But we cannot read its mind any more than it can truly read ours. So we admire the real skill without inventing feelings it may not have. The plain truth is impressive enough without ever dressing it up in borrowed human emotion. There is one more layer that makes a pigeon's learning even more powerful. Pigeons do not only learn from their own direct and personal experience on its own. They also watch each other and learn quickly from the reactions of the flock. If one bird flees a person, the others quietly take note of that warning. If one bird feeds calmly nearby, the rest learn that the person seems safe. So your reputation can spread through the flock faster than you might imagine. A single bad encounter may teach several birds to keep their distance from you. This social learning lets the whole flock benefit from each member's hard experience. It means you are not only learned by one bird, but quietly by many. The street has, in a sense, a shared and growing memory that includes you. So the next time you walk your street, try noticing who is noticing you. Look closely for a pigeon that seems to be watching you just a little too attentively. Notice whether the same bird appears near your path at similar times each day. See whether it watches you noticeably more closely than it bothers to watch passing strangers. Look for individual markings so you can be sure it is the same bird. Watch how close it lets you come compared to how it treats others. Try walking calmly and predictably and see whether the bird grows more relaxed. Avoid sudden lunges or chasing, which quickly teach the bird to fear you. Over several patient days, you may begin to sense a quiet kind of recognition building between you. The bird may wait a little closer and flee a little later each time. You are quietly watching a small mind, actively learning about you in something close to real time. And in noticing that, you finally see the pigeon as it has seen you. Not as a faceless pest, but as an observant and capable little creature. An observant animal that has, quietly and very patiently, been studying you all along the whole time. So the watching on your street was never really as one-sided as it seemed. While you barely registered the birds at all, one of them was carefully and patiently registering you, tracking your timing, your movements, your repeated habits, and all your small and predictable daily patterns, sorting you quietly away into the safe, the harmless and neutral, or the ones best avoided. Building a kind of profile, not made of words at all, but of patient and practical expectation. It is not love at all, it is not moral judgment, and it is certainly not idle curiosity. It is simply a living animal reading its surrounding world with genuinely impressive and patient care. And in that quiet exchange of glances, two very different minds briefly meet. So I will gently leave you now with one simple little thing to go and try on your street. Pick one pigeon, learn its markings, and quietly watch it for a week. Notice whether it begins to watch you back a little more each day. Tell me where it happened and how that bird reacted to you over time. And tell me whether you felt that quiet sense of being studied in return. Because the pigeon on your street has been paying attention far longer than you knew.